Hello, everyone. My name is Jordyn Smith, and I am the voice and the astrologer behind this YouTube channel, Nonconformist Conscience. It is, oh gosh, what time is it? It's 9:34. I wanted to get this video done for you all because Mercury stationed direct today, and I want to talk a little bit about this. I want to talk a little bit about Venus, what's going on with her, how she's about to enter into the sign of Libra, and you know, the day after the new moon on the 2nd, um, when Pluto re-enters Capricorn as well at 29 degrees, Venus will cross over the South Node and enter a new phase. And so there's a bit to unpack. I'm going to upload a separate video for the new moon tomorrow or Friday. I haven't decided yet. I'll probably be wearing this shirt still because I'm gonna do 2 videos tonight. Before I get into all of this, and I want to give the new moon its own justice because there's a lot going on, and this video would be way too long if I did all of this. If you want to understand a little bit about the new moon before I do a video, I did a written report for this week, and I will post the link below so you can read all about what I'm about to talk about, and also be a little bit privy to the new moon and the dynamics that are going to be reflected during that time. But first, I wanted to say, Virgos, it is still your birthday special. It will be your birthday special until the 20th of September. So if you are new to this channel, I do a monthly birthday special. And for Virgos, if you were born under the sun sign of Virgo, you can book a session with me. It's 90 minutes over Zoom, where it will be recorded and I will send it back to you after we're done. But it's where we go over your natal chart, so your evolutionary intention for this lifetime, and any questions that you have about your own natal chart through the lens of EA, and then also your solar return chart for this year. So understanding the dynamics that could be coming up this year to help propel you forward on your own evolutionary journey. And I do that for $75. I love doing these. I'm sure everyone on here is so tired of me always reiterating the birthday specials, but I have new people who subscribe all the time, so I want to put it out there. Also, I'm doing a lecture over Cassandra for the Evolutionary Astrology Online Conference happening October 3rd through the 6th. If you want to sign up for the whole conference, that's online, or just for my lecture, I will post the link for the Jeffrey Wolf Green Evolutionary Astrology Association, so you can sign up for that. What else? Oh yeah, I just did a talk with Sue Hilliard and Rav Shahal, Astro Coffee on the EA Zoom channel. It will be out on the 23rd. And so if you want to get to know me and my journey with astrology, and also just about me in general, that will be out. And whenever it is, I will also post it on this this YouTube channel. Okay, I'm going to quit babbling now. I just had to get that out. That way I don't have to think about it and we can just smooth sail from here. So today, Mercury stationed at 21 degrees Leo. And it will not be out of its shadow period, post-shadow period, meaning that it won't reach the degree that it was at whenever it stationed retrograde until the 12th. Okay? But then I want you to think about this. Mercury entered its pre-shadow period on July 19th. So from then up until the 12th of September, the effects of Mercury retrograde are going to be felt. Mercury, now that it's stationed direct, it's going to start moving over those same degrees, 21, um, 21 Leo, all the way to 3 degrees Virgo. And that will end on the 12th of September. And so it's giving us our third and final pass over these degrees. So if you have these degrees in your chart and between those two signs, this will be more felt for you. Or if it aspects anything in your own natal chart, it'll be more felt for you. So what does this mean? Well, one, during Mercury retrograde, it's stationed retrograde in the sign of Virgo. So it was kicking it off around our own self-improvement. Self-improvement in what? Our own self-actualization. Um, it was, ruled by itself at that time, but it re-entered Leo, which is about our self-actualization. So there's a lot that has come up for people regarding how one can improve upon the ideas that they have or the things that they want to do, what's the inner knowledge inside, what choices, what ideas have been popping up in your head regarding how to self-actualize. And if you really want to tap into this, because Mercury is in Leo, look at your sun sign. So it's given us an opportunity to go inward in order to self-actualize, to intuit what are the next steps that we need to take. And then once it re-enters Virgo, it's how do we improve upon this function? And so if there's something that you've been wanting to do, you've been thinking about it, you know, I wouldn't start it until September 12th. If conversations were needed to be had during this time, now would be a good time because Mercury is direct. So it's really about following your sun and getting a clue as to how this affects you personally. As an example, my sun is in Capricorn and it's in the ninth house. So during this time, I've been self-improving through self-actualizing through the function of self-reflection, Capricorn, looking at what my own beliefs are, the ninth house. How do I want to structure my life? How have I been structuring my life? I've been thinking about what are the habits that I need to create because I want to set that in motion because Mercury is going to be entering Virgo again. We're about to have a Virgo new moon. So that could be coming up for a lot of people, maybe not the Capricornian stuff, but this, how do I improve upon what my sun sign is? What have I been intuiting during this time that I need to work on as a way to self-actualize? And then with Mercury and Leo, it's really about getting after it. It's about shaping your destiny by the strength of your own will, not having someone else do it for you. It's about going out and doing it for yourself. So that's a bit about this Mercury station direct. Now we're going to pick up momentum, right? We're going to be able to put things in action. We're going to be able to hone in on our craft of whatever that is. We're going to be able to self-improve. And that will help us to self-actualize further. So the other dynamic that's happening today and will be felt this week is Venus is opposing Neptune. Venus is at, 28 degrees Virgo and opposing a retrograde Neptune at 28 degrees Pisces. This is where it brings in that self-improvement function. Self-improvement on what? Our relationship to ourselves, what it is that we're wanting to do, who we're wanting to be in the world. It's about throwing off anything and opposing it that gets in the way of the vision for the future. What is the dream that you have? This could be coming into your mind in order for you to start getting this Mercury going. What do you need to learn about? Venus is ruled by this Mercury that just stationed. So it's What is it within you that you want to improve upon? What action do you want to take in order to see the long haul, the vision of the future? What are your ideals around this? What are you dreaming up? How can you improve upon this? What steps do you need to take to do this, to self actualize? Do you need to throw off what I call stinking thinking, which is a total Virgo dynamic? Are you getting into analysis paralysis? Are you feeling not ready enough yet? Well, here's the thing is Mercury also is ruling not only this Venus at this time, but it's ruling Mars and Jupiter. So this gives us all a really big opportunity to expand upon our inner knowledge, or to expand upon knowledge, to take Mars, the necessary action and steps in order to hone in on what it is that we're wanting to do, what action or choice we're wanting to take in regards to what it is we're wanting to self actualize. You know, for me, again, my sun and Capricorn in the ninth, I'm wanting to really start structuring how I want to be teaching more, mentoring. I keep getting these opportunities. And so it's kind of my path is leading me there. So it's how do I want to execute this? How do I improve upon this? Um, how does this help me improve upon my relationship to self? This is also Venus ruling Uranus and Taurus. How can I continue to transform my own relationship to self through self improving upon it? Do I have any limited beliefs that are impeding upon me taking the necessary action? I need to objectify this. I need to throw this off. I need to liberate from it. The South Node is in Libra, and Venus is ruling that. We're improving upon how we listen to others so that way you can self-improve, right? You get the necessary feedback so that way you can take the necessary steps to self-correct. And Venus is in that first quarter trine to Uranus at this time. So it's really helping us to understand what it is that we're needing to liberate from that's getting in the way of us executing a vision for the future, taking the necessary Virgo-like steps to get there. Are you having shame? Are you having doubt? Are you denying taking action? These are all Virgo-like things that could be really highlighted in order for you to liberate and throw them off. And then again, it comes back to Mercury ruling that Venus and Mercury ruling Mars and Jupiter. At this time, things could be magnified, meaning that it could be really shown to you, what it is that you now need to learn, what steps you need to take to learn this, how you need to maybe expand upon something within yourself. Maybe it's reached a limitation and there's some stagnation. And so you've got to go back to the drawing board and figure out what quite isn't working yet. And in order for you to start taking more Virgo-like steps of self-improving. So on the 29th, tomorrow, Venus is going to enter the sign of Libra. And it's going to rule the South Node and Uranus still. And as it enters Libra, it's going to be in a disseminating trine to Pluto and Aquarius. This is very interesting because this is segueing into the new moon, which again, I will do a video on and post it tomorrow. I'm going to say tomorrow. Don't hold me to it because it could be Friday, but I really want to post it tomorrow. That way this is fresh on all of our minds. But Venus and Libra ruling this South Node and inhabiting the same sign. I want you to think back to July 18th and 19th of last year, because that is when these nodes entered into Aries and Libra. And at that time, Pluto was in Capricorn at 29 degrees, square the nodes. Pluto is re-entering Capricorn at 29 degrees on the 2nd. while Venus is going to be on that south node. This is about culminating this whole year and 2-month cycle that we've been in of where we've been needing to restructure how we have relationships with others, how we honor ourselves. Do we honor ourselves? Mercury is stationing at the same point that Venus was retrograde at whenever Pluto was squaring these nodes at 29 degrees. And so it's also bringing in the south node of Venus, which is at 18 degrees, if I recall, or 13 degrees, if I recall correctly, in the sign of Libra. So Venus is about to cross over the lunar south node and its own planetary south node over the upcoming days. This means that all of this that you've been learning, this journey you've been on, where you have had to be confronted with the imbalances or the extremes in your life, whether they've played out with your own personal relationship to self or been highlighted in your relationships with others, this is coming to a culmination. And so this is going to give us this opportunity to have a restructuring, especially once Venus enters a new phase with the lunar south node. Now we get to take all we've been learning, right? And using it as a catalyst to propel us into a new phase. So, what are some of the things that can come up during this Venus and Libra? Well, I want us to remember that Pluto is going to be at 29 Cap, but before it goes back into Capricorn on the 2nd, as it enters Libra, it's going to trine Pluto in Aquarius. This trine really helps with the liberation process of the extremes that we've come to know in our own personal lives. On collective levels, it's going to be an opportunity to liberate from some of that and to have a renaissance, possibly if the collective chooses. But it's about where we have over identified with needs that have been conditioned, that are not serving us, that are not in resonance with our authentic nature, our personal truth, and how that created the imbalances or the extremes. So Venus in Libra is going to allow these things to surface again, just so one, we can objectify them, Pluto, Aquarius, to integrate the lessons, to objectify, to liberate. And then as Pluto enters Capricorn, it's about how do we restructure now? How do we restructure our consciousness in a new way from all that we've been learning? So, what are the things that can be highlighted during this time for us to liberate, objectify, and then restructure through dissolving that old dynamic? Well, it has to deal with the function of Libra. So this can be where issues around needing to reconnect with yourself because you've been out with other people all the time, a need to really listen to oneself. Okay, now I need to go and retreat so I can integrate all I've been learning through this counterpart of Libra. It's also Venus is in a sign that it loves. This could be a time where you're like, I need to come out of my hidey hole and I need to implement some of what I've been learning about myself out in the world with my relationships with other people. Libra. That way I can receive feedback. Is this where I'm supposed to be at? And this feedback it doesn't have to be people saying something to you. It can be just the action or what you're observing while you're doing this, while you're socializing, while you're having relations with others, whether it be friends, family, whoever. This can really be highlighting where we need to improve upon the dynamics of who to share with, who not to share with. Is someone safe? Is someone not safe to share? Are they able to listen to you or not? Can you listen to another where they're coming from? Or are you going to try to control an outcome for them? Do you need to release the expectations of others? Have you been imposing expectations onto other people? If so, these all need to be objectified, because as Pluto again enters Capricorn, you're going to be tested in true Capricornian fashion to be self-determined, to not do those. Venus and Libra, because it's culminating into the South Node, it's drawing all of this up, right? It's could be, have you worked on your personal relationship to yourself to the point that now you can ask for what you need so that way you can receive, because you know what it is. Do you know what you value? So now you can value that in another, right? To look at them through the lens of giving, sharing, and inclusion. This can be about highlighting where maybe we've overgiven in the past. And we might have been in these relationships where we got our value, Venus, from doing for others, but yet we weren't doing something for ourselves, or we weren't receiving back. It wasn't equal. This can highlight the lessons in discerning how to give to someone. Is this person, is this person helping themselves? If you're helping them, are they putting action into helping themselves as well? Because if not, you might have to do that supreme form of giving and sit on your hands and allow them to figure it out for themselves, because it could be getting into enabling territory. Or this could just be coming up for you, reflecting on this, looking at this content of where maybe you've done this in the past and how you want to liberate from this dynamic, how you want to restructure your life to where there is a transformation on an inner level that then ripples out into your other relationships. So this will bring up all of these Libra dynamics of where we have come face to face with the extremes in our relationships. Maybe you're someone who has abandoned themselves or is masking in front of other people. These are both archetypes of Libra, to keep the status quo of relationships. Maybe something's needing to end as an act of self-love for yourself. That way the scales can balance. The list goes on. So what this is going to do leading up to the new moon and the day after is it's going to bring this to a head so that it can culminate. That way you can get really clear on what it is that you're needing to liberate from. And this doesn't always have to mean that an external event could be triggered. This could be where you're self-reflecting and having these aha moments about, oh, that's why I did this, or that's why this happened. Because once Venus passes over that South Node, a new cycle is going to come. And it's about implementing this so that a restructuring, Pluto and Capricorn, and a reharmonization can happen. So this is, make or break time, I feel like. And again, whenever it's the new moon, I will tap into this just a little bit before I go into the, I'll do the video tomorrow, and upload it. But that new moon is in Virgo. And so as all of these dynamics are culminating, and that Venus will be sitting on that South Node during the new moon in Virgo. It is all that new moon in Virgo. What I will tell you is all about self-improving on your inner relationship to self in order to culminate these long-standing imbalances. And so it'll kick off a whole 6-month cycle until the full moon in Virgo. Um, of where we're self-improving on all of this. So it's going to highlight it, and then it's going to kick off a new cycle for us to continue to improve upon this as a brand new cycle is underway, dealing with all of this content that we've been learning relationally and on a soul level. So that is going to wrap it up for this video. And I am going to make a new moon video and upload it tomorrow. Um, that way you guys can have 2 videos and it's broken up and you can watch both of them at your leisure. Anyway, I need to go to bed. I wanted to do this. I'm so happy I could talk about it. I think the last thing I want to say is because Venus is going to be on that south node, this could potentially, for some people, bring in a new relationship or a relationship from the past that will repeat certain dynamics in order for one to make a different choice. Um, and it could play out over the next 6 months. And it's going to be about being self-determined to not be who you once were now that you know how to do better. So I can't wait to hear you guys' feedback on this. I'm sure I'm going to be having some of y'all in session who will bring this up. And I'm looking forward to it. I've been under the weather. I got COVID from my son. And so for the last week, I don't know if you hear it in my voice, but for the last week, I have been sick with COVID. And talk about Mercury retrograde. It's definitely, I've been going and going, and Mercury retrograde in conjunct my own natal Mercury. So it got me to sit my ass down, I think, through being sick. Mercury's the ruler of my south node in Virgo. So how's that for astrology? But I've had a lot of time to self-reflect, and I'm looking forward to having more energy and doing the work that I'm talking about that's reflected in the astrology. It's, all of us are on a personal journey right now. Um, and so, yeah, this is this week's astrology minus the Virgo new moon that I will put out. And I also can't wait to talk to you guys next week about Mars entering the sign of Cancer. Because I think that that's going to be lovely. So I will see you all soon, and I hope to see more of you in sessions. Have a beautiful week.